Welcome back. I'm playing Warhammer 40,000 Battlesector, and we'll get started on our next multiplayer matchup. We are again playing another Hive Top map that seems to be very popular right now. We are doing a 3,000 point Conqueror. We are playing against the Blood Angels, and we're going to be playing as the Orks. There's no turn limit, and it's a 100 point target, so we'll see what we can do. Alright, so I have our forces deployed here. I have a war boss to try to get the buffs for his extra damage. I've got two weird boys to try to debuff the enemy and also buff our own units with the ability to give us extra damage and damage reduction. I have the big mechs here, two of them, so hopefully we'll be able to do a little bit of repairs to our Deathcopters if they end up getting attacked, plus they have the force field ability to hopefully keep our guys alive, in addition to three pain boys to do some healing and get their passive healing buffs. We've got Gretchens. My thought is if I come down here, hopefully I can use them to help give some additional protection to stop me from getting jumped like crazy from the Assault Marines. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 knobs with power claws, hopefully to hold the front line. I have some Ludas, some with the shooty def gun, and two with the beamy def gun in case he ends up going flamer heavy. So that way we'll be able to take it down because the flamers could really mess up our knobs here. And then I've got 4 Deathcopters with the custom Mega Blasta. Hopefully I can put them up on these positions here and just kind of do some hit and run attacks to try to weaken down enemy forces. So we'll see what we can do. And just for clarification, when I said passive healing buff, that's not really the correct term for it. What happens if you're within 2 tiles of your pain boys, they end up giving your units additional temporary HP. So that's what I meant. He doesn't actually passively heal your units. So I'm just kind of moving everybody forward here, trying to create some lines, and what I'm trying to figure out is how can I put these guys down here so I can make sure I don't get jumped by Assault Marines, because that's by far one of the most common builds on this map here, because they can jump to the areas that are elevated and then they can just shoot down on your units here. And I was trying to debate, do I want to end up getting some reaction fire or not? And I felt, well, he's unlikely to get that far, but now I see that he's got some land speeders over there, so now I'm kind of kicking myself in the ass a little bit. So I thought, well, if he's going to have Assault Marines and things over here, I'll put them on here, because then he won't be able to jump and attack me. Surprisingly, he's got Overwatch with those guys all the way over here. And it looks like he's got tornadoes. And regular land speeders from what I can see here. And unfortunately I don't make any of those attacks there. So now I'm just trying to figure out how do I want to position all my guys here. And as I'm kind of running these guys around, I'm realizing the errors of my ways with how I had positioned these guys here. It's getting to be kind of awkward to get them positioned up here. Now what I wasn't sure was, can his land speeders fly up there, or is that too much of an elevation that he can't reach me? And I just brought all these guys together and ended up using his ability there to get the buffs. But had I been thinking, maybe I could have tried to get those Deathcopters on there too. So 0-0 right now, neither of us have gotten to the center. And it looks like he's got the auto cannons on those ones, because I was checking these guys all to see if they have the flamers or not to determine how bad he's going to mess up my knobs, because that's what I was most concerned about. The multi-melt, the land speeders are definitely going to be a pain in the ass. He's going to be able to snipe my heroes, but hopefully I have enough of them that won't cause me to have a lot of issue. And that was an expensive loss right there, so I've already lost a Deathcopter. I haven't even gotten any benefits of him. Luckily he missed that one. But he's definitely moving these guys around to be able to attack me. Yeah, that blue is that temporary HP that the pain boys give just by being in their area, so definitely work to our advantage. And he's just setting all these guys up to be able to do whatever he can here. So I'm trying to figure out how can I move these dang pain boys so I can get some healing, and of course he fails that, so I'm a little disappointed. I'm trying to debate, well, do I run in here with these guys and try to do a charge attack, or do I just move up? And I'm like, well, if any of these overwatches hit me, it might suppress them, so maybe we just keep moving them forward here.
It's our time. We was made to fight, so let's fight.
I'll try to bring these guys forward. See if I can get him into kind of optimal positioning here, but he only has a 68% chance to hit because I got all these other guys in front of me. So now it's up to 80. I figure, well, let's just keep moving these guys up and see what I can do here. But see, it's like, that's what kind of damage they do with the Shootas versus the Beamy Def Guns. So I'm still not convinced that the Beamy Def Guns are a good investment for all the points that I put into them. I'm still trying to bring the pain boys up to be able to heal some of these guys. Now it's like I'd really like to blind some of these predators if I can. And if I could get to attack as well, I would not be upset. And I still feel like the predators are the biggest threat, so that's what I ended up going with there. Now I'm still having the issue here where I'm trying to be like, well, let's move these guys down to see who can all attack. Get as many attacks as we can. And end up trying to give them the bonus there for the buff, and that worked out. Now, unfortunately, I thought I had another movement there, which I don't. And now I'm just trying to decide, well, who do I want to attack here? I'm like, well, let's bring these guys down, see if I can move them up a little bit, but everything is so pushed together that I'm not sure they're going to be able to get the attack, and then I'm worried with the land speeders over there that they're just going to come over there and snipe my other Defcopter down, so I brought the Gretchen over there just to try to lock down some territory. And what I couldn't remember is, will you get to be able to attack there? Because I didn't want to trigger the melee. I figure, well, I should pretty much be able to kill these guys if I do this. I'm trying to decide how can I move these guys to get them forward here. I'm like, I'm pretty sure I can do this because there we go. So he's down. And now I'm sad that I can't get my war boss in, and this starts the glitches that are going to happen throughout this match. Is for some reason, sometimes when these guys die, it doesn't remove them from the spot, from the square as you can see there. So even though it's open, it's still showing it as being occupied by that Invictus unit there. I want to pull him back because he's my leader. I don't want to chance him getting killed because I need to use my abilities. Now I'm just trying to decide, well, do I bring you up to also get a blind going here, or is this just going to get you attacked? I figured, well, let's just keep doing what I can, and we'll pull you back. Because I want to be able to keep using your damage reductions if you can. Get some healing. The big thing is I just need these guys to move up to be able to get as many attacks as I can. Now I'm just trying to decide where do I want to move these guys to. And I'd really like to just be able to kill this guy, but I can't quite get him into range with his weapon, so I reluctantly decide to attack the Predator here because he can't reach anybody else. I figure, well, I might as well just kill him with you then. But I definitely was trying to avoid that overkill. I just move them down here because I figure by the time they move everybody over, it's going to be so close that they're going to have difficulty reaching me. And now I'm just trying to decide where do I want to move the Gretchen to. And I decide, well, I'm going to be pretty much committed to moving up here, I think. And I keep whittling down this Predator here, doing good damage.
If you say so. Ready to bust the boys.
I'm like, well, I'm pretty sure that if I get these attacks here, that should also help me take this Predator down, since I'm kind of focus firing him down to 83 health, so that's pretty significant. At this point in time, when I'm seeing all those land speeders on the other side, I'm like, God, can land speeders get above here without going up the ramp? So then I ended up moving those Gretchen over to just kind of block the path. And then I'm still debating, do I bring these Gretchen over here to also try to reinforce? And ultimately I decide I gotta get more Gretchen over here to block, to body block some of these areas. And then I'm looking, well, I need to move these guys up because as of right now he's getting points because you can see the flags for the Blood Angels are there, and so he's getting the points, so I end up moving my guys onto the spot there so we can contest it. As you can see, it's now being taken away from him because we have the same amount of units, so it's now 5-5. And he's working on killing him. And he's wanting to focus down on those pain boys, which is the right decision, because then he can not have to chop through all that bonus HP. And he's starting to heal the Predators. And he's bringing another heal in, so now he's 150 HP up. And he pulls him back. And he's working on focus firing and sniping my heroes right now, unfortunately. And he landed those attacks. And now he's sniping them down on this side. So this was definitely kind of an interesting thing for him to do. I have not had somebody use the land speeders up here on me, so that's something to consider in the future. And he must use the Predator to snipe down my war boss there. So I kind of have mixed feelings. It's like that was a lot of points that I just ended up losing. But at the same time, when I end up using the Warpath ability or whatever it's called with the Weird Boy, it ends up removing the war boss buffs from the knob, so it's a known bug, and I don't think they've fixed it yet, which is quite frustrating. So now he's moving his dreadnoughts down to be able to block my path here. So now I'm trying to decide, do I just start launching attacks, I mean, do I... And I ultimately decide, well, I think I'm probably going to want more DACA. Because then I'll get these extra shots.
What's the plan?
I'm just trying to look and see what my hit chances are on these areas here.
Luras have the best shooters.
I'm like, well, I got a pretty good chance to hit. So I end up using the more DACA here. Now I'm still not entirely convinced that I ended up getting
Still want to shoot a shot. Cheers.
the extra shots. Or at least if I did, I didn't really notice it for damage-wise. I'm just pulling these guys back.
Custom blast attacker working nicely.
And that was blown down. Now I'm trying to decide who do I want to attack here, because I'm having issues with my guys because they're so far forward. And I settled on attacking the Predator. I think if I did it again, though, I would take that back.
Who's gonna argue with us, eh? Ready to bust the boys. Need to go get fixed up.
It's like I want to take out this Dreadnought.
Sure blows. It's our time.
And now I gotta try to clear some pathing here to get my guys where they need to be, trying to lock down different areas.
Ready to bust the boys.
And I'm starting to have a issue where it's like, alright, I really want you to
The old ways is best. Well, if we have to, we'll move.
be able to get attacks and things like that, but I also don't want you to keep getting sniped indefinitely.
What now?
Because I definitely have an easy kill zone for my higher tier units with how I have everything set up, unfortunately. So now I'm like, well, I guess we're going to end up sacrificing our knobs here. But I need to land these attacks if I can. But he ends up getting the kill. And so he died unnecessarily. I thought, well, if I move you up here, maybe I can get the heals going. We'll move you up to here. Try to lock down that other Dreadnought.
Awfully glad this gets that way.
I'm just trying to decide how far do I want to advance these guys. Because I need to be able to capture the point. Now in retrospect,
Ready to bust the boys.
the knobs here had an attack, so had I moved the other knobs up there, I probably could have attacked the Furioso Dreadnought again. And they're like, well, we might as well keep sniping that guy down as much as we can. And unfortunately, he misses his attack there. I decide, well, he's not going to be able to run those guys over here, so I need to just bring those guys back to the main area. So luckily, he lands his attack. So then I run the knobs up to try to lock those guys down a little bit more. I decide, well, I guess I should commit to keeping these guys forward here. And I was hoping if I brought these guys up, they would have enough cover to protect the units here.
Ready as sore bones. It's our time.
Then I remember, oh shit, I could have gotten another attack with the knobs here. So I kind of realized my mistakes. I'm like, well, I guess we'll just move them down here to keep blocking things down. Because now I have more units than he does. We'll bring the Gretchen down. I decided to just keep those guys there in case the land speeders want to snipe me. Now at this point in time I was pretty worried that he was going to start strafing me with his abilities from the Tech Marine. So I was just trying to pull guys back to try to maximize health benefits and things here. And I decided to kind of move these guys around so hopefully I didn't have everybody just stuck in the same spots. And I also wanted to be able to use their ability without affecting their movement, so I'm just kind of moving everybody up a little bit.
Ready to bust the boys.
And now things are in my favor, but just barely, so it's 15 to 10.
Right through the armor.
He's continuing to shoot down my knobs. Now unfortunately his autocannons and everything are back up, so he's able to use the autocannons to snipe those guys down from the elevation and drop them. Now because the Predator is blind, it's not having great chances of landing attacks. But at this point in time I just need bodies to hold the line so I can keep getting the points. And if I can snipe down those Tech Marines, then the game is in my favor. But if he stays back there, heals, and then gets their abilities, I'm definitely going to have issues. Because now we're just in a war of attrition. Yeah, those melt-a-guns definitely paid dividends for him. He just lands like every attack that he shoots on him. And now we're back again. So it's like I need to get rid of these dreadnoughts so I can try to close everybody else into I'm like, I don't know if he's gonna get the lock everybody in to move, and I wasn't sure if these guys were gonna benefit from the extra shots or not. So I said, we better just move them over before I use it. And now the bugs start to happen where I can't regularly see the HP and unit health regularly, unfortunately. I thought, well, let's just attack here, I guess.
What's the plan?
It's like I can't see what their attack accuracy is. I'm like, I'm not quite sure I can land the attacks here. I realized, oh shit, I should have just used this for the 15% damage. So I use it now. And now it's like, alright, you should obviously be able to get this kill. I kind of hate to do that because you're going to overkill him so much. And I don't want the explosion to necessarily happen. So I end up shooting there. getting the explosion, but because I was able to pull them back, they didn't get damage from the explosion. So now I'm trying to decide who do I want to attack.
What's the plan?
It's like I got an 80% chance to hit there. And I feel like those predators are definitely doing good damage to me.
This is the line.
And we end up taking that down. And then finally I'm like, alright, well, I would like to move up and get that Tech Marine.
Lures have the best shoes.
And it's like, well, I can't see what my chance to hit is, but I'm hoping it's going to be okay, but clearly it wasn't, so I should have attacked somebody else. But again, I couldn't see what the accuracy was.
Well, if we have to, we'll move.
So now I'm slowly bringing these guys up, trying to drop down the Dreadnought.
What now?
I can't see his chance to hit, because it's starting to bug out pretty regularly now. So I'm just kind of guessing. I'm like, well, it seems like it's the right spot, so I guess we'll just attack there.
Sidewalk legs, ready to go.
And I'm like, well, if I can get some heals, hopefully he can stay alive. I'm like, oh wait, I already attacked with that guy. So it's like, okay, I've got the knobs and the Gretchen. Might as well attack. I'm just making sure nobody else still has attacks available. It's like, oh, I still have the Gretchen.
It's our time. What's the plan?
So let's just move the Gretchen up to try to get some additional bodies on the season control area so he doesn't get to keep pushing that on me.
Ready to bust the boys.
I'm like, well, I guess we're going to end up bringing the Pain Boy up here. And at this point in time, I'm like, well, is he going to commit to attacking me or not? And I don't think he's going to, so I end up moving the Gretchen over, because now at this point, we're getting close to having the same amount of units, so it's like, I just need you to
The old place is fresh.
get bodies.
It's up there. Don't they know who we are? Tinkering. Ready to saw bows.
And then again, I'm worried about him using his strafing runs on me.
I can see that way.
But at the same time, I need to have the bodies on the control zone to be able to get the points. But throughout this whole time, I'm trying to decide, like, when is he going to use the run on me, or is he going to end up dropping a missile on me? Because that's going to do a large area of effect. And I decide at this point in time I'm getting pretty close. So I probably am going to pull these guys back.
Well, if we have to, we'll move.
I move those guys over. Again, trying to figure out how can I space these guys around so I don't get
Lures have the
them taken out, because I need these Ludus to survive to be able to win this match, because they're doing most of the damage against the vehicles. And his heavies, and then the knobs and everything, you know, even if he uses those beamy def guns, you know, he's only going to be taking one of them out per turn. Now, thankfully, he got his blood up there, so he ended up running the Tech Marine down to just finish off those units there, which definitely worked in our favor, because he did not hit me with the command points. So now he's just sniping these guys all down. Keeps using his dreadnoughts to body block. And then he commits to bringing his tech marine down here to try to keep that guy alive. And so again, we lucked out because he did not use his command points. Because I think if he would have been using those command points, I would have been in a big problem right now. And again, now I'm frustrated because I can't see what my chance to hit are. So I'm like, do I want to be here? Do I want to move up one? Like, where do I want to be? And I feel like, well, it looks like it's pretty good. So I guess we're just going to try to shoot here. But the problem is because I can't see the health, what I'm trying to do is time when I can move those guys back so they don't die in the explosion. And unfortunately, I'm like, I can't see the health, so then I'm like, oh, that would have got the kill, but it didn't get the kill. So now I lost my knob that was there, so he's now dead. And I got those Gretchen attacked. So that was really unfortunate. So I decided, well, we'll just bring you up there, get the attack. And it's like, I just need to take down these dang dreadnoughts. And then hopefully I can take the position, but then I'm like, oh wait, I think this is his commander unit, so if I can kill the tech marine, I want to take out that tech marine. So we run these guys down. And Gretchen drop them. So I'm feeling pretty good at this point in time. It's like I really just want to drop this guy here. I see the chance to hit that one, so I'm like, oh shit, if I take this one out, then he no longer has a commander. It's like I can't see the accuracy, so it's like, do I attack that or do I attack this guy? It's like I can see what my chance to hit here is, and I should be able to kill him. Which I do, so I decided, alright, we'll just pull him back. Run you guys forward. And it's like, well, let's just try to get some kills here then. And it's like, well, let's keep the blind going, because I only have one turn there, and I need those knobs and Gretchen to survive. So I'll pull you back. And now it's like I need these guys to be forward. To have bodies to hold the point. It's like I think he's almost dead. Can't regularly see his health, and he did get nuked. So now I feel really good. It's like, okay, so I've got this down. I've got you guys here. I now have enough bodies to be able to hold the point. I don't recall what my thought process was on why I moved the pain boy there, or the weird boy. I must have been thinking maybe I can just hold the point, and then that'll act as cover so he doesn't get sniped by the land speeders from up above. Maybe that's what my thought was. And I'm like, I gotta pull these death copters out, because if they start sniping those while my other units are there, then it's gonna explode and do a bunch of damage. And at this point in time, it's like, I really need to have these Ludas keep doing a lot of damage to drop all these vehicles that he's got. But we keep pulling further and further ahead here. It's like if I can just keep dropping these land speeders, I should be able to get the points to be able to get the kills here. So it's like my priority is to drop the Predator and then the Tornadoes, because if it's just the regular land speeders, he is not going to be able to kill enough of my units before the end of the game for that to make a difference. And so now it's like, okay, I'm up to 2, so I'm pretty sure I can get to 3 without much issue. But I'm trying to figure out what is my chance to hit, and it's like, okay, I can't see what my chance to freaking hit is. Dang thing keeps bugging out on me, so I'm like, alright, I think I need to pull back to get the chance to hit. Is that what it's trying to tell me? So I end up pulling them back, but again, I can't see my chance to hit. I can't see how much health that unit has. I'm just very frustrated, so I'm like, okay, now I can kind of see it if I manually force it. So it's like, well, let's try to get the kill then. I'm like, whatever, just drop them, because I need to guarantee kills. I'm like, I'm trying to kill these guys here. I'm trying to decide who do I want to attack. Because I can't see the hit chances. It keeps bugging out on me. So I'm like, is that where I need to be? Is this where I need to be? Like, where do I want to attack? And I decide, well, maybe that's where I want to be attacking, so I end up shooting there. But again, I can't see his health, so I'm like, oh shit, he's still got quite a bit of health there. So I'm like, is this a good chance to hit? Is this not a good chance to hit? I can't tell. So I'm like, I think I'm in the right spot, because if I move you, makes it look like you have less of a chance to hit. And I'm like, well, 65%, I think I should be able to get the kill, so let's just do it. And we land the attack there. So I'm like, well, let's just use you to lock this spot down then. It's like, well, I guess we're going to be using the Ludas to start body blocking. And then I ended up doing that thinking, well, the extra attacks are probably going to work in my favor, but I'm not sure that really was a wise decision. So I'm like, well, let's just use you then to try to get some attacks. And you landed one, you missed the other. So it's like, well, let's move you back to here, because I'd rather keep you alive, because I've been trying to save my command points to get to 3 so I can drop the bomb on him. Because if he stays clumped together, I'm pretty sure that bomb is going to do good damage against the land speeders. I'm not sure kind of what the situation is with the tank. But it's like, okay, now he's got, what, 3 land speeders and a predator left, so as long as I can keep debuffing those units and then keep the land speeders locked down, then that should affect their accuracy enough where I should be able to keep getting the wins. But now it's a rush between who can get the most kills before his cannons start getting back online, because then he's for sure going to be able to get some kills. It's like, okay, so his cannon's back up. I now have 3 action points. So I'm like, let's drop the bomb then. It's like, I want to take out this guy here, and hopefully that'll do enough damage to get surrounding units. And it's like, well, that really didn't do a whole lot to the surrounding units, so I kind of felt bad about that. So now I'm like, well, I've got the torpedo stuck here, so let's really try to focus him down. Because he is dangerous. So I pull these guys back so I can try to get the maximum amount of attacks, because the beamy def gun doesn't have the ability to get the bonus attacks in exchange for the movement like everybody else does. And I'm like, oh my god, he's only got a couple HP left. Let's just move these Gretchen over, because hopefully they should be able to land an attack. He's just got to do 2 damage for me. And they do it. So I'm like, nice. And then try to get a rear attack on the land speeder here, because that'll do more damage. And now he's up to 43 damage, so I'm like, excellent. So we'll bring the Gretchen over there. I'm like, I wonder if I can kill this land speeder with these guys here. And I do. So now I'm like, awesome. We're just down to this predator now. So if I can lock him down in close range, even after that blindness wears off, he'll still have reduced accuracy. So I'm like, I just need to focus this guy down. So it's like, do I bring him here, or do I try to keep him so I can do hit and run attacks? And ultimately I decide to do that. And it's like, okay, I now have enough units here that I'm in control. I'm like, oh, I should just move you to body block him, because now he's not going to be able to maximize his accuracy, and I just need to sit back from range and do as much damage as we can. And as long as I can kill this predator, he should not have enough units to be able to capture enough points or kill me, as long as that blind remains in place. And I'm like, shit, it's going to go away in 1 turn. Because once that goes away, if he can start getting into closer combat with these other units, he's effectively going to be able to kill one of my Luda groups every turn. And then the Gretchen and everybody else are not going to be able to do enough damage. So he loads his attack into the Death Dread, and he couldn't get the kill, so he realizes I'm just going to lose, so he ends up conceding. And so that was the right decision. So a fun match. Definitely was much closer than I was expecting it to. He did excellent play with his land speeders, kind of attacking from the elevated positions. Just allowed him every turn to snipe down a pain boy, snipe down a, mech boy, snipe down my war boss. So definitely something that you guys can consider doing in the future if you want to do that. Now, the easy counter to that kind of play, if other players are regularly doing that, would be to be using jump boys, get in there, and then they'll be able to mess everything up. So that would have been an easy counter there. That also would have allowed me to get around the back and do more damage. Now, I think there's a good chance he could have beaten me if he would have used his tech marines to use the command points and do the strafing, because that would have majorly hurt my units and allowed him to get a lot of advantage. I think also if he would have gone with the flamers instead of the assault cannons, even if he didn't get to do that on every unit, that would have significantly increase the damage, especially on a map like this where there's lots of choke points, because that would have allowed him to easily do major damage to my knobs, which would have allowed his predator then to wipe out each a group. So it would be a flamer and then a predator. He had 3 predators, so that would have been 2 or 3 knobs easily taken out, and since I only had 4 or 5 of them, he could have easily done the damage there. But otherwise, by allowing him to keep sniping each one of my units, he got rid of my big ball of death here. Obviously, I would have moved the Gretchen in sooner. I could have gotten more command points and more points there, but overall it was just a fun match and turned into a slog. And again, if he would have had flamers on his Furiosos, then he would have taken the win. And if he would have ended up using Librarian Dreadnoughts instead of the Invictor, I think that could have helped him too, because he would have been able to buff HP, and then they would have been able to do significant melee damage compared to the Invictor. So I just don't think the Invictor is a good unit. I don't think he got his money's worth. That cannon just doesn't seem to do enough. So let me know if you guys feel differently, but it was definitely a fun match. It was a real nail biter. I wasn't sure who was going to win there for a long period of time. So thanks for watching. I hope you're enjoying these videos. If you are, please give my channel a like and subscribe. Encourage me to post more content for you. Have a great day.